jiya an ce wani yaro ya yi rubutu ya zagi manzo Allah Sakkwato ya yi rubutu ga Facebook ya faɗi maganganun da ba su da daɗin faɗi game da annabin rahama kuma cikin Sakkwato nice amma kan yayi kore ai ba Sakkwato ake irin wannan shiga ta mu kashewa mu kai mu akan manzon Allah akan mu kashe don haka ba Kano bace Kano yan kasuwa ne shi yasa kaga an ce ma manzon Allah dan luwadi an tsaya ana jayayya an ce ma manzon Allah kwarto an tsaya ana mu na kashewa mu kai wallahi kwadabba manzon Allah mu iya kamar shi mu kashe Allah ya gafarta mu wani yaro naga wani bawan Allah jiya ga Facebook yace wai an ce mahaukaci ne yace to ai mu ma mahaukata ne ai iyaka hankalin mu kai a taba annabi ana taba annabi mun zama mahaukata wagga ita ce magana ta gaskiya Allah shi muku albarka sakwatawan shehu duk wanda ya kalli Facebook da sauran social media da irin wanda an ka hito kwarkwata an ka ta gidan sarkin musulmi ya nuna sakkwata suna nan bisa ga tarbiyyar da dan hodiyo yayi musu don haka Allah shi muku albarka da an sakai ku kashe shi magana bai da hankali bata taso ba to bai da hankali duk bai da wanda yaka zagi sai manzon Allah mu ma bamu da hankali an taba annabi don haka duk irin mu bai da hankali bamu da an sakai ku kashe shi kuma ba shi da duk wanda ya taba manzon Allah ku kashe shi bai da hukunci ko belle ya bai taba manzon Allah bai da hukunci illa kisa musulmi in ya zagi manzon Allah ko ya ce ya tuba wannan tuba ta tsakani ne da Allah amma dai sai mun kashe shi bai da hankali ya sanya ta ya sau waya bai da hankali ya sanya sau data bai da hankali ya sanya buɗe shahin Facebook bai da hankali ya san da an kayo mai ya goge don mahaukaci ka waɗanga abubuwa da kun gane ku kashe shi an sa kai ku kashe shi kun ba shi ɗaya ba ku taɓa manzo Allah ku kashe shi babu wani hukunci ga zagin manzo Allah illa kisa in ka tubu wannan tsakaninka da Allah can in ya ga dama ya ga amma dai muna an ce mu kashe ka ku taɓa manzo Allah ku kashe shi kada ku tsaya faɗa ma hukuma a kashe ɗai in ce ba an ce ba ɗaukar doka a hannu to ci ko to an ce ya laifi ga hannu yawwa haji babu wani hukunci ba wani tawili da wani zai da ka zagi manzo Allah hukuncin kisa ko limamin Makka ya zagi manzo Allah hukunci ne kisa balle wani dan iskan banza don haka ku yi tsayin ku nan tarbiyyar nan da Shehu Dan Hodo yayi muku mu alhamdulillah kakanninmu mujahiduna ne kuma jihadin yana nan cikin zukatanmu in kana son ka san mujahiduna muke taba addini ha gani taba addini don haka ga babu wani kuma babu compromise is uncompromising taba manzo Allah kisa ne mun gama da wannan ko wanda duk ya taba manzo Allah Allah ya la'ane shi ku kuma da kun ka nuna hushinku Allah ya saka muku da alkhairi yayi daidai ko gobe an kai ku yi haka nan kuma da kun samu sa'a ba jawowa akai aka mu hukuma ba a kashe ke kowa ya wace to na farko kenan na biyu kun ji an samu kabila da Abdul Jabbar ko gobe malaman Kano za su zauna da Abdul Jabbar to ya a tashi ai qiyamul layli kowa ya tashi ya sallar dare ya daga hannuwa Allah ka ba sunna nasara akan bid'a fada ne za a yi gobe in Allah ya kai mu da tsakanin sunna da bid'a tsakanin ahli sunna da yan shi'a tsakanin masu kariyar manzon Allah da sahabbai ne da masu zagin manzon Allah da sahabbai ne to ku yi ma ahli sunna addu'a Allah ya ba su nasara Allah ya daidaitar da su Allah ya karfafe su su kuma su Abdul Jabbar Allah ka kunyata su gobe Allah ka wulakanta su gobe Allah ka kaskanta su gobe Allah ka sa gobe wa haka gwamnatin jihar Kano ta sa a kashe Abdul Jabbar da shi da duk mai ra'ayi irin nashi Allah ka kunyata su Allah ka kunyata su Allah ka wulakanta su duk inda sun ka shiga Allah ka sauka musu da bala'i Allah ka karya suka karya wannan kafirar da'awa ta su Allah ka karya su, ha karya da'awarsu. Ya Allah ka taimaki sunna da ahli sunna. Allah ka taimaki sunna da ahli sunna. Allah ka taimaki sunna da ahli sunna. Wannan ta zauniya da an ka samu ta Abdul Jabbar, Allah ka sa kada ta ƙara ma sunna komai illa ƙarfi da ɗaukaka. Allah ka ƙara ma sunna ɗaukaka. Allah ka ƙara ma sunna kwarjini. Allah ka ƙara ma sunna ƙarfi. Allah ka ƙara ma sunna.
From the UK, he says, a very good question. What should we do when someone insults the Prophet ﷺ? This depends. If you are in a Muslim country, this is a major offense that requires the intervention of the Muslim ruler. So you simply report this individual to the court or to the Muslim ruler, and it is the duty of the Muslim ruler to execute after going through legislative processes and going in front of a panel of judges. And this is done in Muslim countries. The honor of the Prophet ﷺ is way more important than anything else. So in Muslim countries, this is a cardinal sin. This is a capital offense that has to be addressed by the Muslim court system. And usually after interrogation, after all the dealings have been done, they give the verdict of executing this person who offended the Prophet ﷺ. If you are not in a Muslim country, or if you are in a country that does not rule by Islam, or if you are in a disbelieving country, a kafir country, in this case you have nothing to do but to leave. Either you defend the Prophet ﷺ with rhetoric and explain to that individual that what he's doing is wrong, and you explain that to him. But if he is an abusive person, he doesn't want you to defend the Prophet, he doesn't want to learn or to listen, rather he wants to insult you. So you have to leave this place and boycott that person and warn others from him. You must not take matters into your own hands, because this would turn the community into a jungle where everybody talks with someone, ends up shooting him. And when asked, he said he cursed the Prophet ﷺ. So that's easy. So anyone I want to assassinate or kill, I just say that he cursed the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet ﷺ, no matter how much they depict him in offensive and heinous drawings or ridicule of him, nothing would touch him. Not even this close. Imagine these imbeciles who cursed or depicted the Prophet ﷺ in drawings. Who are they? They're nothing. Who remembers their names, or whoever mentioned their names? No one. Allah said in the Quran, "Inna shani'aka huwa al-abtar." The one who hates you, O Muhammad, is the one who will be cut from being mentioned or from being ever remembered. The name of the Prophet ﷺ is mentioned 24 hours, 7 days a week, all over the globe. There is no single yard or meter or foot or inch where you will not find the name of the Prophet ﷺ mentioned. Listen to the adhan being called 5 times a day, the iqamah being called 5 times a day, and every time you will hear the name of the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, and billions of people offering salutation upon him. Do you think that a French frog would come at the end of the day and insult our Prophet ﷺ? No, they can't. So be proud of your religion, akhi, but don't be provoked to do something that would backfire on Islam and the Muslims. They insult the Prophet ﷺ. If they want to dialogue, yeah, we can talk about it. But if they don't, and they just simply want to insult, leave and go. Let them bark as they wish. They're not going to harm no one but themselves, and Allah knows best. Labib.
Anybody who studies the Quran seriously knows that Allah records on multiple occasions how prophets were insulted, how they were made fun of, how they were rejected in the most obscene ways, and how even the prophets themselves felt the pain of those disbelievers making fun of them. Nuh alayhi salam complains about how people found him disgusting, and that they would plug their ears, with their fingers and walk away from him and pull their clothes back as a show of insult to him. And our Prophet is no exception, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This Quran that honors our Prophet also at the same time records the most hurtful words that were said to him, that the Prophet himself would have to recite and remind himself of the words that were said about him. Sahir, magician, majnoon, insane, kadhab, a perpetual liar. So many accusations are made against our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they're all recorded in the Quran. Allah wants us to remember that this is a fact, that all prophets, though they are the most noble of Allah's creation, and that Allah Himself has honored them, at the same time are people that will face the worst kinds of insults and the worst kinds of ridicule. But what is supposed to be the reaction? And if anybody's supposed to be angry and just be overwhelmed with rage when the Prophet is insulted, I would argue it would be his companions, whose faith, radiallahu anhum ajma'in, can't even be compared to yours and mine. But how come they don't react the way we do? How come they're not having any protests? How come they're not going out and yelling and screaming in rage? Because they understand that the Quran didn't just come to give them a love for their Prophet, but also to guide that love, and to also teach them how to respond to these kinds of insults. How is it that we don't know that the Prophet himself is told, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "Wasbir ala ma yaqulun." Be patient over whatever they say. I'm fascinated by this ayah because the word ma means whatever. Whatever they say. Not whatever they've said, whatever they might even come up with. And the mudari' form in the Arabic suggests what they may have said in the past, but the present and even the future till this day. The Prophet's policy is to be patient himself, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Where in the Quran does it justify our anger like this? And actually, is our anger even justified? If anything, I argue, the one thing we should feel towards those who hate us and make hateful speech towards Muslims is sorrow. We should feel sorry for these people. They can't hurt the Prophet. They can't take away his honor. It was given from the sky. It was given from Allah. Nothing on earth can take it away. No article, no cartoon, no film, no speaker, no hate speech, no form of art. It's not going to take away the dignity of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And these films and these kinds of attempts are futile, wasteful attempts to try to undermine the message of Islam and to misrepresent Islam. But think about it. Us reacting in this emotional manner and engaging in senseless violence, is this not also misrepresenting Islam? Aren't we doing exactly what people want, the enemies of Islam want, for Islam to be misrepresented? If anything makes me angry, it's the anger at our own selves that we don't understand the policy of the Quran and how to respond to insults. Idfa' billati hiya ahsan. Respond with that which is best. Finally, I want to share with you guys, some people think that this was an early policy in Islam, that in the Meccan time of the Prophet, that he was supposed to be passive. But when the Prophet migrated and battles began like Badr and Uhud and Ahzab and Tabuk, etc., now the policy was not to be patient, and therefore we should take that. Let's look at Ali Imran, the battle of Uhud. What does Allah say to us? وَلَا تَسْمَعُنَّ مِنَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ وَمِنَ الَّذِينَ أَشْرَكُوا أَذًى كَثِيرًا. You will absolutely hear hurtful words from those who were given the book way before you and people who commit idolatry and blasphemy with God. You will hear hurtful speech absolutely coming from them. These kinds of things are a manifestation, a proof that Allah prepared us mentally for that. But what was supposed to be our reaction, God Himself tells us, Allah Himself tells us, وَلَا إِن تَصْبِرُوا وَتَتَّقُوا فَإِنَّ ذَلِكَ مِنْ عَزْمِ الْأُمُورِ. If you can be patient and you can maintain your consciousness of Allah, then that is the most noble of deeds, the highest of accomplishments that you can accomplish. That is supposed to be the reaction of the Muslim. This video was watched by 30 people? This loser and his cousins? Before we gave it support. We made it popular. We're the ones that are giving it more flame. And I want to end with this. In school, bullies tease the kid that they know takes the teases and gets, he shows a reaction. The more we react in this way, the more we're encouraging others to, pursue more hateful speech. We have to learn to respond in mature, civil, and higher discourse the way the Quran and the Sunnah of our Messenger, the legacy of our Prophet, expects from us. I pray that this is a message that reaches all of my young brothers and sisters that are feeling the sadness, the rage because of this incident, but I hope to turn that rage, and I hope you can turn that rage into something positive. Barakallahu li wa lakum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.